Alright, the ID card slot panel is all done and ready to go. This does not get edge coated. This will get edge coated when we do the outside of the wallet. Next thing that we're going to do, we're just going to set this aside. If you haven't already, go back and do another coat of any kind of edge coating that you need to do, whether it's on the center panel or if it's on the back or your flap. Whatever you need to go edge coat because it's dry, it's sitting there drying, go do another coat while you're waiting on the next thing. Okay, or before you go to the next thing, I should say. Alright, so we're going to grab our zipper pouch now. We're going to go ahead and just get that done and get that out of the way. Alright, so I've got my 2 outers and my 2 linings, and I have my, there we go, I have my zipper tabs and my zipper. All the measurements will be in the written directions for you guys and your zipper. So make sure that if you're using nylon zipper tape, make sure that you burn each end so it won't unravel. And then we're going to take our zipper and put one side of our zipper on the left side of our zipper, and then take the right side of our zipper and slide them on together. If that happens, you need to take it off and do it again. It didn't quite go on like it was supposed to. So I just slide it back. There we go. That's how the edge should look. Alright, so zipper tabs. You should have 2 that are 2 by 2. What you're going to do is you're going to fold them in half, just like that. And then you're going to open them up and then take each side and fold them in on themselves so that they meet in the middle. And then you're going to fold them in on themselves again. Did I make the right choice by using my water-resistant canvas? Probably not. Here we are. Okay, so then you put one zipper tab on one side, take your other zipper tab, fold it in half, open it up, fold it in half again in on itself, and then just like you do a bias binding, put it on the other end of your zipper. We're going to go to the sewing machine now and we're going to sew these zipper tabs on. Alright, so one side at a time. I'm just going to start. I have my stitch length at a 3 now, so it's a little bit smaller. I am going to backstitch when I get started and backstitch right when I get to the end of my zipper. Now I'm going to bring the other end around and do the same exact thing. Not sewing them together, just bringing them right behind each other. Alright, let's go to the sewing machine and I will cut these up so that they will be separated and the right size. Alright, so I've already cut one end and I forgot I was supposed to be recording. So I'm just trimming up my zipper tabs so that they meet to the edges of my zipper. I am using the waterproof or the water resistant canvas, so I am going to take my lighter to each side just to kind of seal that in so that it doesn't unravel later. I found this one just unravels just a teeny tiny bit. It's not awful, but just to make sure that I don't have any problems, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, now we're going to grab our zipper and our front panel, or one of our zipper panels. And you could make a center notch here and a center notch in your zipper, but it's so small, I'm not even going to bother doing that. What I'm going to do is put right sides together and center this. You should be a 1/2 inch in on this side and a 1/2 inch in on that side. And then we're going to clip this together, and then I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and I'm just going to base stitch it in place. Alright, that's base stitched on. Right now it doesn't matter which direction the zipper is going in. Alright, now we're going to grab our lining and put it right side to the wrong side of our zipper, clip all the way across, and then we will sew it at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Alright, so with a 3 stitch length, we're going to sew our little zipper sandwich together. Something is telling me that I should check my bobbin, but I'm gonna live dangerously. Alright, so you're going to want to pull back your top panel and your lining panel and pull them away from your zipper. With a 4-stitch length, we're going to top stitch all the way across. Alright, now that we've got that done, the next thing that we're going to do is grab our other outside piece. We're going to put right side to the right side of our zipper. And again, you can center it. It's about a 1/2 inch on each side. I'm going to take this to the sewing machine real quick, and I'm just going to base stitch my zipper in place, and then we'll add the lining just like we did before. Alright, I've got my zipper base stitched onto my other outside panel. Now I'm going to take my lining and put my lining right side to the wrong side of my zipper. We're going to take that to the sewing machine and we're going to sew it on and top stitch just like we did on the other side. Alright, so I have got a 3-stitch length. We're just going to go 1/4 inch in. Alright, now we're going to take the lining and the outer fabric and pull them away from the zipper, just like that. And then I'm going to top stitch right on top of that. Alright, so we've got our outer and our lining all ready to go. Okay, what we're going to need to do next is we're going to need to take our lining and kind of move it out of the way. We're going to take some more double-sided tape. Surprised? Okay. We're going to put it right on the edge of our outer panel, just like this, so all the way across there. Then we're going to go to the other side and do the same exact thing. Now, we're going to take the paper off, and you're going to fold up. Could you get out of the way for a minute? Fold this edge up about 1/4 inch. I'm folding mine up just a little bit more because I noticed that my lining was, I must not have pulled my lining quite as tight as I should have when I was top stitching. So it was a little short. Alright, so fold it up about 1/4 inch and do the same thing on the other side. Like that. Okay, now that that's up out of our way, what we're going to do is let this fall down, and then we're going to fold this end over and under until it meets to the edge of your outer panel. So when you're folding it over 1/4 inch, you're going to have it meet the edge just like that, and then I'm just going to clip it in place for now. So just fold it over and meet the edge, just like that. You're going to do the same exact thing over here. So fold it under 1/4 inch, bring it down, fold it under, clip. Fold it over at 1/4 inch, clip. Now we're going to do is we're going to take this and fold this in half, like that. I'm going to match up these edges right here first. So on both sides. Your zipper should kind of pop up and out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to collectively clip all of those layers that are separated right now. I'm going to clip them together so that they're all one. If you have a domestic, you may want to make your outer and your lining on this one cotton, because this is going to get really thick. So it's like this when you get finished. I like doing it this way because on the inside, you know how you make a regular zipper wallet and then at the end you have to turn it inside out, and then you close it up and then you shove it back down in there and you still have a seam that you can see? This doesn't allow you to have that. It's all clean. There's a nice clean bottom in there. You don't have to worry about seeing any seams. Alright, now at 1/8 inch, we're going to sew down this side, across the bottom, and then back up. Alright, so I have got a 4-stitch length, and I'm just going 1/8 inch around the edges. Alright, so we got our little zipper pocket all done. If you notice when you look inside, no seams on the inside, and I love that. Alright, we're going to set this aside for a second. We're going to grab our 2 outer zipper pocket side pieces and our side zipper lining. Okay, I can say those names. I only have myself to blame for them being as long as they are. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take a ruler and a marking tool, and on the wrong side we're going to mark 1/2 inch in. I'm just going to make it go all the way down like that. You're going to mark 1/2 inch all the way around. You're going to do that to both of those. If you wanted to and you had the wait time, you could put some glue in the center and then add these. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. I am impatient and need to get this video done, so I am going to use some 1/2 inch double-sided tape. I'm going to put it on each side so that it kind of holds that center in place. Alright, now you want to grab your 1/4 inch. I know, it's a lot of tape. You're going to put that on the outer edge in between all of your 1/2 inch marking. So I'm not going to put my tape edge to edge. I'm just going to put it within that 1/2 inch mark that we did. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Go ahead and do that for both of these. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these. We're going to peel the inside tape off. And then we're going to take the side piece linings, take one of them, and then just place it in the center. It won't fit in between all these lines. You just have to kind of center it like that. Okay. Next thing is you got to do is you got to pull each side piece off and then fold it over 1/4 inch. It should naturally want to fall at 1/4 inch since you used the 1/4 inch tape. It should naturally just want to fold over. So our lining is going to be encapsulated in this piece. Alright, these edges are not my favorite thing to do, but here we are. I've been making way too many of Mika Posh's patterns, and it seems like a good idea, so we're rolling with it. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm taking my nails and I'm just kind of smushing this corner into itself so that I can see where that needs to get cut. I am going to take my scissors and I'm going to keep them straight. I'm not going to tilt up, I'm not going to tilt down, I'm going to keep them nice and straight. And I'm going to bring you down here in just a second to show you what I'm doing. So I'm pushing these down and then I'm cutting across, and you should get a nice edge just like that. I can do better. I know I can. I'm going to clip that in place for now. Alright, let's do another one, and then I will bring you down so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of pinching it and cutting that angle edge. That was much better. Okay, we're getting somewhere. And so we're going to do that to the top and the bottoms of both of these. Let me bring you down here so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so I've got you down to ground level. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of like making these edges, here we go, making these edges meet, and I'm kind of pushing my thumbnail into that so that they'll kind of go naturally together. I'm taking my scissors as straight as I can and I'm going across there like this. That creates a nice little angle right there, and they're going to overlap sometimes if you don't cut it just right, and that's fine. It's not going to be the end of the world. We are going to top stitch across this and keep it, yeah, and you're not even going to see these edges once we get done with the pockets and we put them into the wallet. You won't even see them, so it's not a big deal. Alright, again, I'm taking my nail and just kind of smooshing it down the edges keeping my scissors nice and straight. I was hoping I would get one good edge that I could show you guys. But even I struggle with this. And that's okay because, like I said, you're not even going to see it. Alright, I'm going to do that to the other one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'm going to do it so that the lining is face up because I want to make sure that I catch this side. We're going to sew across here all the way to this other side to right here. I'm going to make sure that I catch this corner over here, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. I'm going to start here, sew across, and catch there. Don't do the sides. Alright, I've still got you at ground level so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to catch this side over here so that it stays laying down. I've got a 4-stitch length, and I went before I meant to. Show you, like, oh, there you go. Come back. Like that. So I've caught this because I want this to stay focus. I caught that because I want it to stay in place. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the top one. Alright, so this is what it should look like on the back. I made sure that I got each corner in, and that way they're held down for me. When we go to sew them in, you're not even going to see that. So that's what the front should look like, and then that's what the back should look like. And if you haven't already, go ahead and finish the second one. I'm going to go to do that real quick, and then we'll go to the next step. Alright, so my zipper pouch is done, and my side pieces are ready to go. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our side pieces and fold them in half. Like that, and just kind of crease down the center. What you're going to do is you're going to take your zipper pouch and put it inside of that crease, and it should meet up at the bottom and the top. I'm going to clip these together, and I am also going to take my key fob, and I'm going to squish at both ends, just kind of make it a little bit easier. Then you're going to take your other one, the other side, and you're going to squish down the center and put it into that. So it should look like that. We'll go to the sewing machine, and at 1/4 inch you're going to sew down, and then 1/4 inch sew down that side so that our little flaps are attached. Alright, so here's my key fob. If you don't have one, you should probably get one. They are really nice when you're going over thick seams. So what you can do is you can just take it and squish that corner. If that corner is too thick for you to put through your machine, you just take your key fob, squish it down. I'm going to do that to both corners. Alright, I should be good to go. Starting from the bottom is probably best, or at least that's what I found from sewing these. I have a 4-stitch length, and then at 1/4 inch you're just going to sew them together. Alright, so our zipper pouch with our side pieces are all attached. These are how we attach them to the inside of the larger zipper pouch. Alright, now we're going to work on the zipper panel. First thing that we're going to need to do is turn it to the wrong side, and you're going to want to mark 1/2 inch on each of these 3 sides and leave this side alone. That's going to help us later on. Then we're going to add our zipper. You're going to need your zipper pouch piece, your larger zipper, and a bunch of clips. Very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this zipper and open it up, and you need to do something with the edges, right? We're going to fold this in half. This is a technique that I use, and it's up to you. I've seen other ways to do it. So fold it down about 1/2 inch, take this corner right here and fold it up like that. And because this is nylon, you can sew it, but because this is nylon, I'm going to burn it because my machine likes to eat stuff like this, and I don't feel like dealing with it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of fire and push it down. Be careful. Boom. My corner is ready to go. I didn't have to take it to my sewing machine, didn't have to do anything. I just had to fold it over a 1/2 inch-ish. Take this edge right here up to meet the corner there. And fuss with it a little bit. And take my lighter. Get in there, corner. Now, once you got it the way you want it, just burn a little bit of the edge. And squeeze. Now be careful because you might burn yourself. So don't come at me and tell me you burnt yourself. Be careful, be responsible, be a responsible adult. Alright, once that's done, we're going to grab our panel. And there are a straight side and there's a rounded side. The side that we're going to be working on is our straight side. So I'm going to put it like this so I can see what I'm doing. And about 1/4 inch from the edge. So here's my edge, here's about 1/4 inch. I'm going to start clipping my zipper to my zipper panel like that. Your zipper is facing right side up, and then you're just going to clip, 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 clip. When you get to the corner and you've got that little bit of roundy bit, we're going to snip just a few snips so that it'll go around that corner like so. Just so that it kind of lays flat like that. Okay, one more clip. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my little marking tool. And you see where the corner of this little piece is? We're going to put a little like stop mark to remind myself to stop stitching there. Then we're going to take this side of our zipper tape, and without moving our clips, we're going to take that off. We're going to start with the zipper tape right side up. We're going to start again at 1/4 inch on this side. You're not wanting to clip, are you? Okay, double check. Alright. You're going to do the same exact thing. You're going to clip around, and then when you get to that corner, you make a few snips so that it will go around that corner. And then you're going to want to mark where to stop. So at that corner that's sticking out. Let's move this other tail out of the way. And then make your mark right there. Now, we're going to take this to the sewing machine, and at 1/8 inch, we're going to base stitch our zipper on. So let's go do that. Alright, so I am going to be using a 4-stitch length down 1/8 inch down the zipper. I'm starting on one side, going around that curve, and then I'm going to stop at that mark that I made. I'm going to cut my threads, and then I'm going to start at the second stop mark that I made. I'm just going to go ahead and keep going this way. Alright, so we have got our zipper on. The next thing we're going to do is take some more 1/4 inch double-sided tape and let's see if I can find the edge of it. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're not going to put any along this side. We're just going to be putting it along here so that we can fold this over in a minute. So I am putting it on the very edge. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this double-sided tape paper off. What you're going to need to do is take this edge and make it go down right on, not in front of the line, but past the line, if that makes any sense, that we made earlier. That 1/2 inch mark that we made, you're going to make not in front of it, but right on top of it. And that corner is going to be a little tricky. So I'm going to go past that. Okay, so it should look like that. Now, if you folded this over and you just kind of like willy-nilly folded it over, we're going to be top stitching closer than 1/8 of an inch. We're going to be top stitching as close as we can to this edge of this fabric, because if you don't get it close enough, and this is why we folded it over 1/2 inch, you're going to see these basting stitches, and that's why we folded it over 1/2 inch, so that when we top stitch it here, we're not going to see any of that. Let me show you. So if you can see it, I don't know if you can see it there, but this is one of my testers. I didn't fold it over enough, and so my basting stitches, you see that beige thread right there, you could end up seeing it in the final one. So you need to make sure that you fold it over just right so that you don't have your basting stitches showing. Alright, now that we've got that done, next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our zipper back panel. This is what we are attaching our zipper pouch to. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of put this flush on our table, just like that. We're going to take this with the straight edge towards you, and you're going to need to center it. Now, you can't cut out, let me see if I'm trying to get it straight while I'm talking. You can't cut out a center notch and then line them up, because that is going to show in your final product, and we don't want that to show. So I'm just clipping right across this straight edge right here. And then with your zipper teeth facing you, we're going to need to put your zipper on. So I've got my zipper. I'm going to be putting left side on first, then the right side, and then I'm going to push it down. Alright, again, if you have one side standing up a little bit higher than the other, you got to redo it and make sure that they're even Steven, just like that. Now once that's on, what we're going to do on the wrong side of your zipper, we're going to grab a ruler and a marking tool, and we're going to mark 2 1/4 inches up. This is the trick to get the thing to look right, so the end of our zipper to look right. Alright, so I have marked across there, so I've measured 2 1/4 up, right? Somebody's chicken in the backyard is going nuts. Okay. I don't even know any of my neighbors have chickens, but somebody is like dying. Okay. Now I'm going to take some more 1/4 inch double-sided tape. With it facing me, you want to make it pretty long, because this is just basically holding it in place for us. Alright, so we've got our mark. We're going to take our double-sided tape and we're going to put it right across here. It doesn't matter where. This is just going to hold this in place for us. So the sticky part is facing the front of your zipper. So it's facing up. The paper is on the back side of your zipper, or the wrong side of your zipper. Okay? Alright, now what we're going to do is, with your zipper facing you, right? We're going to take it and we're going to push it down. Now, you can push it down just a little bit just so that it'll stay there. And then what we're going to do is, with my hand holding that zipper, I'm going to undo these clips. And then I'm going to come up here, get that zipper head out of the way, and we're going to make sure that this is straight. You want your zipper to be straight. So your zipper should be 3 1/2 inches from the top. So the edge of your zipper should be 3 1/2 inches from the top. If it's not quite there, that's fine. I'm just going to move it. And then you need to also make sure that your zipper is centered. So I'm going to put that down there. I'm going to put my thing back. And then nice and centered. Okay. We can commence. Alright. So remember, 3 1/2 inches down, the end of your zipper should be right there, 3 1/2 inches down, and in the center. What we're going to do is you're going to take your zipper and get it out of the way. We're going to go to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch down where we made that 2 1/4 mark, and that is what gives us that nice corner so that when we're going to sew the rest of it, it'll look nice. So let's go to the sewing machine and do that. Alright, so I am just going to base stitch this in place. So I'm going to be using a 4 stitch length. I'm also going to like double check and make sure that my zipper hasn't like moved around any. And then it honestly does not matter where you start. I'm going to start on my zipper. Again, this is just base stitching it in place. It's not like you're going to see these stitches later on is what I'm trying to say. But I'm not going to go past my zipper. Like that. Alright, let's go back to the table. Alright, so we're in place. That is where our zipper is going to land. And then again, the tape will just kind of hold it there. Next thing we're going to do is just, for kicks and giggles, I have been just laying this down and clipping it and then rolling with it. But if you want to put some double-sided tape down just to kind of hold this in place, go for it. If you're sick of using double-sided tape, then be like me and live dangerously. It's up to you. It is entirely up to you. Alright, I think that's going to be enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, right? All this paper. And I'm going to turn it around so it's facing me. And then I'm going to line this up again on my board so I can see what I'm doing. And make sure that this is even and straight. So I'm not pushing anything down until I see that the lining and everything is straight. You should have roughly an inch roughly on each side of your zipper. Okay, now go ahead and push all that down so that it'll stay still and you won't have to worry about it. The center one, we took that paper off. Okay, cool. What I've been doing is just kind of laying it down and then clipping it here on the edge. Now, what we're going to do, what I would normally do is start on this edge and come this way and sew around. However, we've got this zipper here, and that's kind of what gets in the way when you're trying to do this on the regular, right? We're going to start on this side, and I'm going to have my zipper, or I'm going to have my sewing foot going across here like this. And that way we can get nice and close to the zipper, and we can kind of pull it out of the way a little bit when we get there. Another thing, right here, you see these two pieces right here, how they're kind of wanting to fold up like this? You need to push them down. If you wanted to add some double-sided tape to this side just to make sure that those are pushed in, that's what you want to do. As much as you can push them in, they need to be pushed in, not pushed out, like that, if that makes any sense. And you need to do that on both sides of your zipper. And again, I've been doing that when I go to the sewing machine. So we're going to take both those ends and push them in, and then push this down, and then sew on it. Alright, let's go to the sewing machine. Let me show you how I do this. Alright, so I have still got a 4 stitch length. You can make it a 3 if you want. It's up to you. Alright, so you see how my sewing foot is going to get nice and close to this edge? That's what we want. We want as close as we can get to this edge, less than 1/8 of an inch, so that our basting stitches that we did earlier don't show up in the final product. Make sure that when you're doing these corners that you tuck them in, and when you're sewing, pull the zipper out so that it's not in your way and you're not accidentally sewing it down. Now would be a great time to have a stiletto out. Alright, so before I get to my zipper, I'm going to stop and I'm going to make sure that those zipper ends are pushed in. I'm going to give this zipper just a little tiny pull. And then as I get closer, hang on to the zipper with your right hand, pull the zipper with your left, And you may have to kind of fold this up a little bit to do it. But anyway, just get as close as you can without hitting that zipper, because that's what we're trying to avoid. We don't want to hit that zipper. Right, again, I'm going to straighten up this corner. I'm going to hold that with my finger. I'm just getting the fabric and not that zipper. We're not getting this edge yet, so don't mess with that. Alright, cut your threads and let's go back to the desk. Alright, so we've got this all sewn on. If you're worried about the stitches here, don't worry about it. You're not going to see any of this in the final product. Okay, first thing you need to do is fold this in half and pull your zipper and close that up. Now go through and check and make sure that none of your base stitches are showing, and they don't, and I'm so happy about that. Okay. Alright, and then look at your little zipper here. Looks nice, right? Not a whole lot of fighting and hassling to get it to look like that. I know there are so many zip around wallets that I've wanted to do, and I cannot do because I just cannot do zip arounds. I don't know what it is. It's extremely frustrating. Okay, next thing that we're going to do, we need to install our little zipper pouch that we made yesterday. Well, that I made yesterday. I let it sit, and now we need to install it into our panel. So the very first thing we're going to do is, when we're looking at our wallet, right, this is going to be on our left side, this is going to be on our right side. So we want our zipper to open to the right, close to the left. I am going to start by putting our zipper pouch, so opening to the right, opening to the right, closing to the left. I'm going to take this side, so the very top side, and I'm going to put it right there on the edge of where we just sewed. So we're going to be sewing over that again. I have got it, and it's very hard to see. So I got my ruler, and from the center of my zipper, I've got the bottom of this, our side piece, I've got that 1/2 inch from the center of my zipper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start sewing about 1/4 inch at the bottom all the way to the top, making sure that you backstitch, and then when you pull your threads out, make sure that you make a tie on the back. I'm going to make sure I do not want this to get pulled on too much and have my stitches start popping out. So I'm going to make sure that I've got enough tail on this end and this end that I can make some stitches. So let's go to the sewing machine. Alright, so I kind of had to pick it up like this and pinch it so that it wouldn't move. Alright, what I'm going to do is, I still have my 4-stitch length. Alright, I'm going to make sure that this zipper is out of my way. I don't want to hit that. And I'm going to hang on to my tails of my thread when I start sewing so that I can pull that to the back. And then I'm going to sew, and then I'm going to backstitch because I don't want this coming out. I'm also going to tuck that little corner in too, and it should get caught hopefully. Also want to pull your zipper away so it's not getting sewn accidentally. Alright, so we've got this one side nice and connected. Like I told you guys, those little edges aren't going to be seen, so no big deal. Next thing we're going to do is, you're going to need to kind of find the center, so let's line this up. I think my clip's going to be right in the center. You're going to find the center of your panel, which is right here, and then 1/2 inch up. Okay, so you're going to find the center of the panel, which is right here, and 1/2 inch up is where we're going to put the bottom of the opposite side in which you were working on. So we got this side connected, now we need to get this side connected. But wait, there's more. Okay, get it where you want it, and then you have to put it in about 1/4 inch. There's a reason, you'll see later on. So it's going to be really difficult to take this and clip it. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so you're going to need to clip it about 1/4 of an inch in, because we're going to be adding our outer panel and we're going to be sewing 1/8 of an inch on the edge, so we need that room for our foot to go on that side of the panel. So make sure that you push this edge 1/4 of an inch in. Let's go to the sewing machine and sew that. Also I made knots in the back so that I don't have to worry about this side popping out. Alright, now let's go to the sewing machine. Alright, we're going to do the same thing that we did last time. We're just going to go in 1/4 of an inch. Make sure that you're holding on to your threads when you start. Make sure that you backstitch. And your piece wants to go like this. We need it to be straight. So make sure it's straight when you're sewing it. And then go ahead and make knots in the back so you don't have to worry about this, your seams popping out. Alright, so we have both sides connected on this one side. Now we're going to have to take these connectors and put them to that side. The next easiest thing to do is going to be to get this side, and you're going to have to eyeball 1/2 inch because there's no way you're getting a ruler in there. Sorry. But basically, if you look at it, you can see, like, if it was like this, you could see that it was askew, right? So what I've done is just kind of pinched it in half and then kind of brought it together. If you wanted, you could kind of measure from the top and then the top here, but there's not really, there's not an easy way to do this. There's no other way to say that, okay? Alright, so this side you're going to want to be all the way over on top of the edge of your lining for your zipper pouch. Be careful on this side. When you start, it's going to be super easy, but when you get down to this part where the zipper is, it's going to get difficult. So you need to drive slow and drive careful. Make sure that your zipper is out of your way. This is another reason why you shouldn't use a big honking zipper pull, because you might accidentally hit it. Alright, let's go to the sewing machine. Alright, so I just kind of carried it over to my sewing machine by pinching it like that. Alright, so you can pull this back. And it's going to be really hard for you guys to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to start with you there. And then I'm going to move you to the other side so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so 1/4 of an inch. Making sure that I'm not sewing that zipper down. Alright, let me move you. So I don't know if this is going to do any good. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So 1/4 of an inch. And you're going to try and keep it straight because it's going to want to push itself in, but you need to like push it back out. Tell it who's boss. I'm putting my hand underneath there through the other side and just kind of pushing it back into place. Try not to sew that middle piece that's wanting to get in the way too. I've got my hand on my zipper so it's not in the way, and then you kind of just need to roll this side up to you as best you can. This is a hard one. It's a hard spot. Alright, we're almost there. So we've got this side done. That was the hardest side, guys, because you have to deal with the zipper just kind of all in all being in the way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this other side, and again you're going to